Welcome to the Flora podcast, a place where we help you create a life you're excited about. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, we are going to talk about who you are expected to be in your life. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Flora. For over 25 years, I've been helping people like you align into a life that you are wildly obsessed with by helping you clear the 9 types of clutter, preventing you from taking the steps needed to get the life that you want. Today, we're going to talk about who you are expected to be in life and how that could be one of the biggest types of clutter that you have to deal with in order to truly create the life that you want. So recently, I watched a little 60-second video on YouTube, and I'm linking it in the show notes so that you can watch it. And it really drove home expectation of ourselves and what other people think of us and expect us to do. And I want you to think about, who are you expected to be? Are you the responsible one? Are you the one that always helps out? Are you the one that leads the show? Are you the one that goes above and beyond? Or are you the one that doesn't volunteer for anything because of whatever reason? Like, who do people expect you to be? I really want you to sit and think about this. Years ago, I was speaking with someone, and this is actually in my book, and she was the go-to person to volunteer at her church for funerals and weddings, and they would give her like no notice. They'd say, oh, hey, we need you for a funeral tomorrow. Or, I mean, granted, yes, we can't control when people die, so of course, funerals have less buffer time than weddings do. She was constantly being called to do these things and that, and she's just like, I can't do it. I'm so burnt out. And it's like, well, who are you expected to be? I'm expected to be the one that always says yes. And it's like, do you want to be that person? And she's like, no, I don't want to be that person anymore. I don't want to be what people expect me to be. So I want you to look, and if you need to write down this list of things, like, who do people expect you to be? Are you the responsible one? Are you the one that always picks up the slack? Are you the one that always cooks? Are you the one that always cleans? Are you the one that always does a double shift? Are you the one that does what? And write that out. And then ask yourself, do I still want to be this person? Is this person actually me? Or is this a person that I have fallen into by default? Often, you're falling into this version of you by default. Who are you expected to be? And are you done being that version? And today, I'm going to ask you, are you ready to be the version of you who creates and has the life that you truly desire? And if that's yes, yes, I truly want to be the best version of myself possible. The first step is to stop being in environments that requires you to pull others up. The next thing is you can just stop doing those default behaviors and start delegating, or just not do them. And see what happens when you stop doing them. I want you to write out your list of your default behaviors and those expectations that people have about you. And ask yourself, what am I ready to not do anymore? Because this is decluttering your daily stuff. This is decluttering emotional. This is decluttering, process, mental, all kinds of clutter by saying, okay, I've fallen into this role by default, and I no longer am willing to do this. So begin to articulate to the people in your life that you are no longer available for XYZ, whether it's singing at funerals or singing at weddings or running the PTO or baking those extra cupcakes or running the neighborhood watch, or creating that online petition, whatever it is. You can choose to say, I have reevaluated my priorities in my life for this year, and running this or doing this or XYZ, whatever it is that you've listed out that you're no longer available for, you can say, this is not in alignment with my priorities this year, so I'm going to have to give this back to you to find somebody else to do. One of the ways that you can help identify this type of clutter is, what are you just sick and tired of doing? What is exhausting for you in your life? It could be going above and beyond. But the key is to recognize who you have been expected to be, and you can create a new iteration. You can create a new version of yourself that is not expected to do that. And you could say, I'm in a different phase in my life. These are not my priorities anymore. These might be a priority for you, and I honor that and respect that, but this is not my priority. So therefore, because it's yours, then you can take the reins, because this is not my jam anymore. Last week, we talked about recognizing a want versus a need, and you can want something different for your life. You can want something that you want without justifying it. That's it. So today, really give yourself permission to look at who you are expected to be. And give yourself permission to ask yourself, do I still align with this version of my life or my reality? Or do I want something else? And you can stop being that version that everybody else expects you to be and get rid of those pieces of clutter, because I'm telling you, those are the pieces of clutter that will zap your energy faster than anything. They will zap the joy out of your life. They will zap the time out of your life. When you stop doing all the extras for everybody else, just because that's what's expected of you, all of a sudden you start having so much extra time. And you start finding that joy in your life again. You start finding that meaning that has been missing for so long. Stop being in environments that requires you to pull others up, or that requires you to show up in a way that is not in alignment with who you are now. We evolve as humans. We evolve, we change, we grow, we expand, we contract. The key is to recognize, what do you want in your life? Who are you expected to be? And reinvent yourself as often as required, without explanation to anyone. And then begin to articulate that to the people in your life. And I promise you, when you do this, your whole life changes. Your whole life changes. If you're struggling with this, if you want clarity, if you want help and support in recognizing the expectations in your life and recognizing what you do now want and crafting this new version of yourself and this new life for you, click the link in the show notes, sign up for a single session, and let's talk. This is one of the things that I'm an expert at, is identifying the types of clutter that are getting in the way and preventing you from aligning into that life that is deeply satisfying and deeply meaningful for you. So much so that people stop you and ask you why you are so vibrant looking and why you're so happy. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? If you know you're ready, click the link in the show notes. Let's talk. Remember, all it takes is a clear vision of what you want and the willingness to take a small 1-degree shift every single day to align into a life that you are wildly obsessed with. I hope this serves you today. I love you, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to today's podcast episode. All links mentioned are in today's show notes.